Here we are. Welcome to UTB Blogcast number 15. Just two of us here tonight. Dave and Brad.
Hi,
the only
Brad.
two that were willing to stay awake for this.
Yeah. But at least we have scruples or something.
The rest of our party goers are off in bed right now.
Yeah. All the other UTB minions are sleeping.
Rough week. And I'm not talking about anything really BlackBerry news related, more just people related. It's been a real rough week.
Yeah, well, I guess there's been opportunities for people to get their knickers in a knot. And, it's human nature, I guess. But, and it speaks to the passion that there is in the community, I think, which could be, or actually can be construed as, a positive in a lot of ways. But some of the speak has been a little brutal.
Real brutal. I mean, even within our own group, because I have a feeling you and I are kind of on the same page. But there is a division even between us within UTB. So I don't want to make it sound like we're all speaking from the same page here, even though I think we should be.
Well, on one hand, it takes it takes a community to raise a child or whatever. You need a community of people to run this and not just necessarily have it's not like it's totalitarianism or something like that. And it's great to have opinions, and it makes you think. And ultimately, if you have more than one or more than a few opinions, you end up, when you need to make decisions, you end up making better decisions because you've considered more options or opportunities or whatever those differing and different opinions are. Those are the kinds of things that get you to run your company better, as rough as it may be to get there.
I go back to last week's blogcast. And in all honesty, at that point when we did this, I hadn't read everything. I hadn't watched everything. I had really just watched a couple of the BNN videos, and I read other posts on other sites, and I listened to people within groups that we're in telling me what happened. So when as we were talking about now's the time to fight for BlackBerry, which I still believe, and I believe it was James said, we have to admit that BlackBerry is on the, or BB10 is on the chopping block. I agreed, and because everything that we had heard up to that point, it's exactly what it looked like. But I went back and I rewatched everything this week, and I read the earnings call, the transcript from Seeking Alpha, and I have a completely different opinion this week than I did last week. After having read everything and watched Chin's interviews, I don't understand how everybody's jumping to the conclusion that they did.
And your stint with the psychologist, did that help at all?
It did. The couch was comfortable.
Did you get a pillow?
I got a pillow. I stopped smoking for 15 minutes.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Well, I don't know.
Well, everybody seems to be focusing on one quote. Go ahead and say what you're saying. I'm going to look for that quote while you say it.
Well, what was I going to say? It's these things are often temporary also. When news comes out, or even things that you project from news, the way you read it kind of thing, you draw conclusions, and then, you know, what? Either your feelings get hurt, or it's the last straw, or whatever it means to various people. You know, they draw these conclusions or jump to conclusions, and then the emotions come out, and these things are temporary. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I'm a glass half full type dude. And I don't know. I think there's some people that are permanently pissed or dissed, and there's people that are temporarily, you know, on the fence now, and there's people that thought about it and have some concerns, I guess, but carry on. I'm in that latter category. I have my concerns and my thoughts and whatever, but I'm going to carry on because I don't see any concrete freaking death knell going on. There's a whole pile of conjecture, and I just don't buy off on that. It's not good enough.
Everything I've tracked down, you know, obviously everybody has an opinion, but the quote was from the question and answer session after the earnings call. And it was, I'll read it. Forgive my reading here. Daniel Chan from Scotiabank asked, hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my question, John. BB10 has been out for nearly 3 years now, and you've launched a number of new products like the Passport and the Classic recently. But that business continues to lose market share. Device volumes continue to decline, and with only 800,000 devices in the last quarter, when do you throw in the towel on BB10 and just say, I'm going to focus on Android? And Chin's response was, well, first of all, we'll have to make sure Android is successful first. That's a good question. There's a very loyal base on BB10, especially the government, some highly regulated industry customers. So we will have to see whether we can make money off of that base. But in addition to that, if our plan of doing the BlackBerry Android type implementation works well and the security side of the equation is well accepted by the governments and this base, of course, we could then replace them or merge them into it. That's the quote. That's the quote that everybody is jumping on the bandwagon and jerking their knees and saying BlackBerry 10 is done. And my opinion, he was asked, okay, when are we going to quit BlackBerry 10? And he gives a series of if this, if this, if this, if this all takes place, then we could if we wanted to. I don't take that the same way a lot of the community is taking it right now. I'm not even going to say the majority, but just a lot of them, a lot of vocal ones.
Yeah. The people who say nothing, you don't know what they're thinking, but there's an awful lot of vocal people in our, you know, or in the community, and the community's been around for so long, and some of these people have been around for so long that they're the ones that get listened to, and so they can have an opinion, which is never a fact. It's just an opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of people listen to opinions and take them as facts. It's too bad. That's the way the world works. That's the way humanity works. It's too bad. And you're right. The spoken word and the written word, unless they are explicit, can be taken in multiple ways, a minimum of two. You're seeing the glass half full, as do I. And there's a whole pile of people, which is why we're having this discussion, that take it as a glass half empty thing. And to me, it's a waste of time. Go ahead and throw in the towel if you want to. That's your prerogative. But there's no hard, solid proof that, you know, that people should go, you know, Chicken Little on this thing. It's not worth it.
I even take it the opposite direction. You know, I mean, obviously Chin has to answer to stockholders, but I mean, we're looking at a long-term plan versus a short-term plan, and I don't see Android being a long-term plan simply because BlackBerry doesn't own it. They don't control it. They'll be, you know, I mean, they can add what they can to it. They can make it secure, but it's not their OS. You know, that they are not directing the direction that it's going to go. Whereas with BB10, they can. And you know, there's been a couple of things that Chin has said in interviews and past interviews where it's kind of left a question in the air, and he's gone back and corrected it. And that was a point blank question where he answered it, and then he came back for several interviews after to make it a point, you know, within the same day, that we're not abandoning BB10. There's at least 2 more updates in the works as we speak. I mean, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And seeing some of the community members exploding about it, they're doing more damage to BlackBerry than if they would just stay quiet about it, obviously.
Yeah. Again, that speaks to the enthusiasm, be it misplaced or not, and the passion that people have for the product. And I'm talking about BlackBerry 10 right now. My my passions lie with that too, but more so with the company itself. So you know, I wait and see what's going to happen before I want to cast any aspersions on anything. And like you say, I really don't know whether Android is a long play or a short one. I could see it going either way easily, especially if it just, you know, all I got to do is chuck this skin on it, make sure it works with the new version, and carry on, and people buy a bunch of them. You know, yeah, let it sit there making money. Go ahead. You know, if that helps fund those of us that want BlackBerry 10, which I do. Yeah.
Me too.
And you know, for the super, you know, more highly secured type of installations that they have for G7s and Fortune 500s and banks and whatnot, then hey, that's a good thing. I really don't care if it hangs around forever. If that's what they want to do. You know, if that's what keeps BlackBerry going, then I'm all for it. I don't know if I'll ever buy into it, but I don't. Doesn't bother me that they make the thing.
Yeah, I originally thought that this was a one-time cash grab. You know, this is a one-time phone that they're going to put out. They're going to sell. They're going to get the money that they need to continue on with their device business, and you know, rose-colored glasses afterwards. But listening to Chin, I mean, again, he made it very clear that this is something that shouldn't be some point of confusion. Was that BlackBerry, like they always do, are offering choice. You know, they've always offered different form factors. They've always offered different entry levels. And
yeah. I've often thought that they've, in the past, especially in the previous OS, I've often thought that they had way too many variants of handset. Like, how do you keep up with that? What is it, spaghetti? You throw it at the wall and see what sticks? Or come on.
As a fan, it was kind of fun, though, because you had to memorize all those numbers. It was like baseball cards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I have a 9700 and a 9810. You know, what
Yeah.
do you have?
Yeah. So I don't know. And that's cool. You know, we get it. And here's another variant. Only this one's got a completely different operating system on it.
And he said that in the interview with BNN. He said, you know, if you want apps, you have the Android. If you want unparalleled security, you have BB10. I mean,
Yeah. Getting back to the community, though, I really hope that we see the furor sort of die down a bit, and you know, kick it down a notch, and everybody take a chill pill, and you know, get back to rooting for the company, rooting for BB10. You know, there's some campaigns you can pay attention to and get on board with and be vocal about. And, you know, it's like, hey guys, hey everybody, it's okay. The sun's going to come up tomorrow morning. Your phone's still going to work. They're still working on BB10. You know, giddy up, let's go. No sense being all grouchy.
Well, you know what? And trying to think of a politically correct way to put it, because there's been a lot of vocal, very positive people in the community that really did a big part to bring most of us into the community, you know, and they were very welcoming and very friendly, and it was all good. And now I'm seeing a few of these people, you know, knee-jerk reactions, again, emotional reactions, going the exact opposite direction. So I'm seeing there's a definite change in the community, and it's kind of scary, because you're like, these are extremely loud people. You know, these are people that kind of carried our community through a lot of the hard times, and they're flipping on us right now. But at the same time, like you mentioned, the campaigns, you know, I started that thunderclap, and at the time I did the thunderclap, I put down a goal of 100 people, and I really hoped that we would reach that. You know, I didn't have high hopes that we would have more than that. You know, it's like, are we going to make it? That was the question. And we made that in less than 24 hours, you know, and we're over 500 right now and climbing. I believe we have 9 days left. And you look at who is signing on, there's a lot of the people that we recognize, a lot of the people that have been vocal in our community and are still BlackBerry fans, but then there's a lot of people that I've never seen before. There's a lot of other websites, you know. I mean, there's a couple of websites that obviously are not there, but it's really nice seeing, you know, these international websites, these other BlackBerry sites jumping on and joining in. We have another campaign started by a reader, and not just one of our readers. I know he's a fan of several of the websites, but James H. Jackson Jr. is asking for people to submit videos, and I love this idea. I think it was great, and I'll be submitting my video, you know, just a 1 or 2 minute clip of why we choose BlackBerry, and then he's gonna put them all together into one large video, and that's gonna be amazing. And then there's another campaign in the works by just say Team BB Blogs, which is a group of international websites that are great. They're a bunch of really great fans. A few of them were on our Stop the Leaks campaign, and some of them were not. But I mean, I'm seeing these. There's a transition in the community right now. Some of our loudest people have left, and I think it's going to be temporary. I think they'll be back. But we're seeing other people step in to fill the void, and I think that's amazing and awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't Jackson's thing like 30 seconds to a minute? Not 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, just
real short. I choose BlackBerry because ABC. Boom. You know, and it's awesome. We've seen other companies do this sort of thing before and use in their commercials. Well, this is ours, and this is a chance for people to show that they're part of this new community and that they're still going for BlackBerry.
Yeah, not even just new, but hey, you know that the bulk of, or not the bulk of, but there's such a high percentage of people that just watch and read comments and whatnot, and hey, now's your chance to actually push that button and say something after I don't know how long, years maybe. What the heck, do it.
I love it. I love seeing that there's exactly, and I'm sure these people didn't just jump on. You know, they've been there all along, but they're starting to be vocal, and that's what we need. When we lose a couple of vocal members, we need those people to step up and be heard.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
So,
well, all I got is a message to people out there: relax and keep calm and bury on, or whatever you want to call it, because it's rarely as bad as you think. And what's written and said out there can be taken in more than one way. So please don't do the knee-jerk thing. Relax, carry on, and keep being just as vocal as you always have been, and just as positive. And let's get going. Move on.
And stop reading between the lines.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I've heard over and over, and that's from people within our group. You know, this is people that they're family. You know, people that we've been with for the last 2 years, and I keep hearing that, read between the lines, and it's like, stop reading between the lines and listen to what's being said. It was very, very exact in what was said. We're offering a choice. There's this and there's this. I'm not abandoning anybody, Chen said. It just amazed me. I went back and I was speaking to somebody else. They wanted to hear, you know, where Chen said that he was transitioning to Android, which is what I kept hearing. And I went looking for it, and it was never said.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, but so many people swear that they heard it, and it's a you know what it was? We were expecting that. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy is what it was. And honestly, like in the days leading up to the earnings call, with all the leaks of the with all the leaks of the device, and knowing that it was going Android, everyone was expecting to hear them say that they were switching over to Android. So even though Chen never said that, we all heard it. And we all carried it forward. And they're still carrying it forward. And people are crying out that they're never going to trust BlackBerry again because they're switching to Android. And they're not. Yeah.
And I'm so angry, I'm going to go get an Android.
Oh, that's the most ridiculous argument I've heard. Yeah. If BlackBerry's going Android, I'm going to go get a Nexus. And I believe it wasn't me that asked that. Somebody questioned that person why, and the answer was, I would rather have a pure Android than a BlackBerry skinned Android. So it's like, okay, so you'd rather have something not secure than something secure. What were you ever doing on BlackBerry in the first place? You know, if that's going to be your argument, go get an iPhone.
Yeah.
Put all your stuff in the cloud.
Oh, well.
Yeah, this has been a very angry week for me, to say the least.
Well, we're all still here on the correct side of the grass, so carry on. What else we got?
Yeah, that was my main thing. Oh, no, it wasn't. I included Marty Beard's tweet in our post for this. Marty Beard, COO, BlackBerry, I believe he actually tweeted it on the same day as the earnings call, which was a smashed iPhone.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, it's like the gauntlet's been thrown down or something.
Exactly. While we're all fighting amongst ourselves, BlackBerry's getting ready for battle. Here it is, Marty Beard. Interesting all hands today at BlackBerry. I think the troops are ready to rumble, and he's got a picture of a smashed iPhone. I love that. That is the attitude that we've been waiting for from BlackBerry. And it's like, is this a one-time shot? No, it's not. BlackBerry took a swipe at Apple, yesterday, day before yesterday?
Yeah, it's a nice one. A pretty funny one too.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, they've got a picture of the new device, the Priv, on Apple's webpage, on the note from Cook, where he's suddenly pretending to care about people's privacy and welcoming them to caring.
Yeah, you gotta like that.
You got to. You know what? I mean, and I've said this, I think, to you, but you're seeing a transition in the community, and the people that are left, the people that are here, the ones that are willing to fight. And at the same time you're seeing BlackBerry ready to fight. This could be an amazing time for those of us that are still here, still kicking. They're going to put out a device that I believe is going to sell like crazy. But before it was announced, before you started seeing all the articles, all the Android sites going crazy about it, when you start seeing BlackBerry trolls from the Wall Street Journal saying "want" with a picture of the Priv, this is going to be an exciting time.
Yeah, and you see that on sites that you'd never seen it before too. People who are just tech savvy, and they, whether you like what they said or not, or whether you think they're a toady for an iPhone or this or that or not, you're starting to see, if not that same person, at least the organization, somebody in that organization go, you know what, this is a BlackBerry I can get behind. This is a, I want to buy that. I mean, it's, and it's not really the backhanded compliments that, previous, hate to say it, or whatever, BB10 handsets or whatever would get, well, it's really nice, but it doesn't do this, or it's okay, but it doesn't have that, or, even the words, when you read them, look genuine. And it's about something that this time I don't really even want right now. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I don't even want it right now. And these other people that hated the stuff I did want, they're liking it. So, I mean, there's a lot more of it out there. I think you're right. I think this could sell well, especially if those, talking heads that constantly diss BlackBerry are liking it, and it's, hey, go ahead. Lead the sheep, do it.
You hit on a good point there too. So we sold 800,000 BB10 devices.
Yeah.
Yep. Phone call. Real life calling.
I can see its caller ID, and I don't need it. So yeah.
Awesome. But 800,000 BlackBerry 10 devices, and that's us. That's the BlackBerry fans. That's those of us that didn't move on. With limited production runs, that's some good money coming in. Not enough to keep the device afloat, the device business afloat, but it's still steady money, and that's exactly what Chin says, is it's steady. And the fact that BlackBerry users hold on to their devices longer than anybody else, that kind of adds to that. But at the same time, you've got all these Android people now. We're pulling the Android people in with another device. And you look at the BlackBerry people, just the ones I've spoke to that are talking about, yeah, I'll pick up that device. They're the vast majority of them, I would say all of them except for one that I've spoke to, are the BlackBerry user that buys all the devices. You know, you've got, I don't want to name them by name, but, you know, we've got several people in our group that have bought every device.
Yeah.
A couple of them have bought different versions, several different versions of the same device. They're the ones saying, yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to buy it. And it's just going to be another BlackBerry in their arsenal. You know, I'm not seeing many of, how do I put it? There's still people walking around with the Z10s. There's still people walking around with the Q10s. They're the ones that are holding on to their BlackBerry, and I'm not seeing them say, I'm going to run out and get the Priv. You know, I don't think we're going to lose BlackBerry fans. I don't think we're going to lose BlackBerry 10 fans to the Priv. I do believe we're going to get the BlackBerry fans that are gotta buy them all. What is that? The Pokemon, gotta get them all, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They'll pick it up. It's going to be more device sales. That's good. But those that do that, I guarantee it, when the next BlackBerry 10 device come out, they'll run out and get that also.
Yeah, I think the Priv is going to be fairly huge for relatively recent people who, relatively recently either left BlackBerry for an Android, and I'm going to put that in the last year or two. Those are the kind of people whose heartstrings you can tug at very easily. And also there's going to be a bunch of people that are on the fence. And there will be a percentage of those Z10 users you're talking about that want a big fat slab that aren't going to get it quite yet in a BB10 format, although we don't know that for sure. But, you know, there's going to be device sales there, and they're going to come from everywhere. I think this should well outsell the numbers that came out of the last quarter by
definitely
a long shot. So it's all good, and it's all BlackBerry sales.
Yeah.
So Chen can sit there the quarter after that and say, you know, sales are 3 million this quarter instead of 800,000 or whatever it's going to be.
Now I'm moaning. One of the people I was hoping we could get on here tonight is now messaging me. I love Blend. Let me just say that. I love Blend. I was somebody that was using Windows tablets instead of a laptop, and really had no need for a computer. And for the last couple of years, I haven't really had it. And the initial version of Blend on a 8-inch or 11-inch Windows tablet was not very pleasurable. It really wasn't. Maybe if you had great eyes, it was great, but I don't, and it wasn't. That was like the first generation that I tried, and I never even upgraded it again after that.
Yeah. Well, admittedly, it had connectivity issues as well.
Yeah. Well, now, man, I am loving it. I got this laptop and installed Blend on it, and like the minute I turn on my laptop, I just set my phone down and everything. So much better than I thought it would be. I suddenly understand what you guys have been talking about for so long.
Yay!
Yeah.
You gotta like that.
Well, you know, yeah. I'm pretty much mobile. I don't sit behind a desk, you know, and that's exactly what I figured is, okay, for people that sit behind a desk, it's awesome. I can see that. I can understand it, but I don't sit behind a desk. I'm on the move, and
yeah.
But even just this, you know, I'm playing with my phone while my phone's over there right now, while I'm chatting with you.
No, I know. I can't remember what article it was. I forget, but the stories of people who honestly, and I don't know how you do this because my phone's just glued to me. I can't leave without it. Some guy just went off on a trip and completely forgot his phone. But he did have his laptop, and it was no problem. There he was, using the texting, using BBM, and getting your files and whatnot. It's awesome.
Well, there's been I believe that was on the BlackBerry blogs where somebody told that story, but there's been people within our own group too. I think it was Chap. His wife was on his phone when I messaged him. So as she's on his phone having a conversation with somebody, I'm sitting there messaging him, and we're talking back and forth through Blend. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the sort of stuff that people don't think about. That's something else, a conversation that happened in our group earlier tonight. Someone was talking about, well, if a BlackBerry Android phone with all the apps, they would buy it. They would want it. I guess there's apps that they require. And my position is I wouldn't give up what we've got for the apps. I'm not somebody that's going to be buying the Android. I just won't, because the efficiencies, the swiping, the I'm not willing to give up what we've got in BB10 to have apps that I'm never going to use. I've got apps and I don't use them. And I'm, what apps are we really missing? Snapchat, don't use it. I'm not a kid. Instagram we can get, which I don't use. Netflix we can get, which I use on my TV, not on my phone. I don't know what else we're missing, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, there's some, specific work-related apps that could I live without them? Absolutely. Do they help me in my job? Yeah. And I'm talking about things like OneNote, and I'm talking about things that are very specific to my industry and the equipment that we sell. So I would miss those if I couldn't have them, but they do run on, and they run very nicely on my Passport. So I miss nothing. And if they took the runtime away, I'd have a problem. I would tell you that I would have a problem if they took the run away from me. And I would either be in your camp and say, whatever, I'll just deal with that another way, and maybe you have to carry around a tablet or something. Or what? I don't know. I love the idea of a single device. I don't need my tablet anymore. I love my playbook. Hi there, playbook, sitting over there. But it used to come with me everywhere I went. I got that when I was still running a 9800 on OS 6, and you'd never see me without the thing. It would be in the boardroom. I have a keyboard for it. It would be out in the field with me. I would use it to take notes and whatnot. And it started, and even when I had my Z10, it was with me all day, every day. When I got my Z30, it started to not necessarily come with me to work every day. And then when I got the Passport, that was sort of the end of that thing coming with me to work anymore. So, would it bother me to start doing that some more or again? No, but I do like a single device.
That's and totally off topic, but you gotta, that playbook was amazing. For as much damage as it took, and it did, to BlackBerry, and as much as it was trashed, still my favorite tablet. It feels better than anything I've ever had. And I was like you. I didn't go to the store without my playbook. My playbook was always in my hand. And I've had so many tablets since then. Android tablets, Windows tablets, and none of them have gone with me because they just didn't serve a purpose as well as that did. And it very well could have been that, like you, I had the 9810 and the 9800 before that, and the browser wasn't great on those. And the playbook would use its data. So it gave me something that I didn't have. Now, unlike you, I didn't continue carrying my playbook once I got my Z10. That was my everything until I got my Q5 and until I got my Passport. I did carry a Z10 and a Q5 for quite a while. Now it's just my Passport, and I really need to shut off my other line.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Little off track. I would love to see, and I'm totally not getting into that argument, but I would love to see another playbook with that heft. While Apple is making everything thinner, I don't want anything that thin.
No, I know the playbook is just built like a tank. It's
perfect.
It's awesome. It feels great. It's got a good weight to it, and hell, it's not just a communications and entertainment device. It's a weapon.
Yeah, I've got this Dell. I got the little Dell Venue, and this is probably my favorite tablet since the playbook.
Same size, right?
It's the same size. The screen is actually bigger. It doesn't have the big bezels like the playbook had. It doesn't even have power, so I can't turn it on right now. But it's still thinner. It's thinner than the playbook. And I've got this case on it just because it makes it feel thicker. It's like I miss that. I miss having things that I didn't have to worry that I was going to fold in half if I sneezed.
Yeah. Yeah. Too much fun.
So.
Well, what else we got?
Good question.
What was on that list you threw up there?
I think we touched on everything on the list. BlackBerry's fighting. We've got some infighting. We have a new community forming. We have a couple of campaigns going on. I would like to say that these campaigns are not ours. We're jumping on the bandwagon immediately. Well, no, the Thunderclap is mine. I did that. But these other campaigns are not ours. The video is James Jackson, completely his idea. He's the one doing it, but I think it's brilliant, and we'll push for it.
We just gave him a platform to kick it off.
Yeah, and the upcoming campaign, hopefully we'll see it this weekend, more than likely Monday, but that's being done by another group. A couple of developers are involved and are creating some things to go along with it. It's great. It's going to be really great.
Sounds good.
Anything funny with Apple? I know Grim was exceptionally happy about something earlier today, so I know something bad is going on with Apple, but I didn't get a chance to look into it.
Yeah, I'm I've been so busy at work, it's ridiculous. And I won't do the head with my chicken cut off thing again. Somebody thought that was funny, but
people enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then we don't have the Chap Challenge. We don't have Chap.
We don't have the Chap Challenge. What the hell?
Should I do something with my hands and say they got away with it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I know that I have one iOS device. It's actually my son's X device. It's an iPod, and that got updated to release 9. I don't know whether I mentioned this before or not, but probably did on the last blogcast. The battery life is back up to what it should be. At first I was ecstatic because the battery life was ridiculous on 814 or whatever it was. The battery life, I mean, the thing would, you'd do nothing with this iPod and it would be dead in 3 days or less. Completely ridiculous and useless. With iOS 9, the thing will last a week. It's what it used to do.
Really?
Yeah, and so I don't know what they did in iOS 8, but it just completely thrashed people's battery life, and on 9. So I'm just saying that as much as we like to trash those guys because they deserve it, they did get that right and put the battery life on this unit anyway back to the way it was when you bought it.
And they also fixed their data.
Oh my God. I left this.
I remember what it was.
God. Well, I left a comment on the article about that. Who wrote that? I can't remember who wrote it, but anyway, one of the guys at work, who shall remain nameless, got you want to look at it. But anyway, I know he got a 6S or a 6S Plus. 2 days later, I guess he got it on Sunday, and then this week on Tuesday or something, he was just horrified. Excuse me, that in 2 days that phone had consumed almost a gig of his 2 gig plan. So that was like 800 meg of his 2 gig plan. And the guy, well, I'll finish the story. One of the other BlackBerry users in our office had to tell him how to fix it. So we all had a jolly good laugh about that one.
Well, what killed me was an article I read before it. I read one article about it, and I'm trying. No, I didn't save the link, but oh, there went my passport, and still in great shape. Anyway,
Yeah.
the article I read was they said the good thing is that American and Canadian customers tend to have unlimited data plans. That was the article justifying this Apple feature that's eating up everybody's data.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody with an unlimited data plan, and maybe I'm not asking, but of all the people that I can think of off the top of my head, none of them have unlimited data.
Well, down here, a lot of people, and I'm not going to say a lot, but there are still people left on these grandfathered plans. But these are plans that they had before the general population had smartphones. While everybody else were on flip phones and we had smartphones, we had this grandfathered plan. But you can't get those anymore. There's no such thing as an unlimited plan now.
No, and little by little they go away because, so-and-so person who's been with the company, been with the carrier for I don't know how long, goes in and has had their phone for way too long anyway, goes in because it's busted and gets talked out of it and into a new plan that doesn't have that, and they may or may not have even thought about it. Little by little, those things go away.
Yeah, I had one of those grandfathered plans, and I gave it up because I couldn't hotspot or what's the old-fashioned thing?
Tethering, yeah.
They had that shut off on my phones. It was grayed out. I couldn't use it because of that. The only thing I could use was the BlackBerry Bridge, and I had to download that from, was it Roy?
Yeah, Roy, yeah.
I had to get it from them instead of my carrier.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, iOS, there was a 901 update, and now I think there's a 902. So they've got the patch boys, up all night doing it again, just like last 2 times. iOS 7 and iOS 8 were a hot mess, and this ain't no different.
Nope. And still selling like hotcakes. Except I heard, I think it was bigly saying in groups today. Now I'm just getting into the point of I heard this instead of something that I've checked out. But I think it was
This is Brad's rumor mill.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
pay attention. Yeah.
Rumor mills. Bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah.
The
you said it first.
I did. You said something. But it was saying that I think it was something he read on Seeking Alpha where these record sales of the iPhone are including China's sales this time, whereas last time they didn't include China's sales.
Yes, that's correct. And when you take a step back and you look at the whole thing, from a projections point of view, they've missed. Because if you're including the China sales along with the North American debut sales, it's not as large a number as it could have been had they included the China sales last time. So it's like a smaller number overall. And they're including China this time because of what now? So they can still look good?
Yeah.
Do you think
so they
do you
can
think
show
the
growth
Apple
where there actually isn't?
Do you think the lineups for Apple phones and Apple stores is as big a thing as it used to be?
No, we've been, each iteration of it, I've said this is it, this is the last one, and I mean honestly, I've been proven wrong each time. But I've stopped saying that, and it looks like they're starting to decline now. Maybe I'm that cursed fan, Don't wear this.
Maybe there's just
on the
a
iPhone
larger pool of sheep than you thought.
Yeah, I'm just off.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know what? Since you did bring up the rumor mill, I want to say one last thing about the leaks. Right now, people are raring to get the Priv. We know that they're out after Eddie, and I had complaints today from people that are not BlackBerry people. They're not tech people, but they're just like, I want the phone, but it's not available. So I mean, they're upset that it's not there. A couple of Android people. This wouldn't have happened if people wouldn't have leaked all this crap. It's like BlackBerry needs to be able to deliver the message in the timely fashion that they want to. And right now is the time to hit, because everybody knows about the device and the device just isn't ready to go to market yet. Thanks, leakers. If BlackBerry could have shown the device when they wanted to, it would have been closer to when the device was ready to hit the shelves, and we would have had that massive influx right then.
Yeah,
so when
and
people
you wouldn't
say,
have so much angst.
Exactly. So when people are saying leaks don't hurt, I guarantee you they're hurting right now. And I really hope people think about this before the next device. I'm already hearing rumors that somebody's ready to leak information on the next device. Just stop. We're supposed to be fans. Our own popularity isn't worth it. We want BlackBerry to be around, because in the long run, if BlackBerry wasn't around, there'd be no point in UTB. There'd be no point in Crackberry. There'd be no point in any of these websites. There's just no point. We need BlackBerry here for us to even have a purpose.
Yeah. Time to be a BlackBerry fan, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done.
Well, there you go. I'm sort of medium rare, but that's just me.
Put a fork in me, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's just the two of us, and how much can two guys agree and keep it interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm sure tomorrow we'll be told all the different ways that we were wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. I have thick skin and a thick skull.
So I'm gonna call it for the night. Let's say thanks for listening. Please jump on our Thunderclap. Regardless of if we get a BlackBerry 10 Priv or not, this is a show of our community and supporting each other.
Yeah, show some intent.
Send James some videos. This is going to be amazing. I think this is going to be a much bigger deal than the Thunderclap. I think than any other campaign that our community has seen. You know, a community-driven campaign. It's
also so much more fun to do because you'll get to see yourself in this huge collage of promotion. It's just you're going to watch it like 10 times. It'll be fun.
And I know the first video started rolling in today. I actually heard it from a couple of people that sent in their videos, and they're how do you put it? They run a couple of the foreign language sites, and they're doing their videos in the foreign language with the they're giving him the subtitles to add to it, and I think that's awesome because that's going to show that not only are we like a BlackBerry community of fans, but we're a worldwide BlackBerry community of fans.
Yeah. What was that ZZ Top song? Yeah, we're bad and we're nationwide. Only this is international.
We truly are. Just look at our group, how many continents we cover. And I've been in different groups and out of different groups and kicked out of different groups. And it's amazing, the BlackBerry community, when you step in there and you're speaking to someone on a daily basis that you would never see in your lifetime. They're on a different continent and a different part of the world. They speak a different language from you on a daily basis, and they become your BBM buddy. I think it's amazing. Thanks, BlackBerry.
Yeah, gotta like that.
Okay, I'm shutting up now. I'm rambling. I didn't get much sleep. Not going to get any sleep tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with us, everybody. It was two of us. It's all good.
Good night, and see you next week with hopefully more than Dave and I. And if it's just Dave and I, then it's just Dave and I.
Yeah, then too bad.
Good night.